Hello friends, in this episode we will talk about Greek mythology and the prominent characters as shown in the epic Iliad. The first of the characters that we will discuss is a character of Agamemnon. Agamemnon is a brother of Manilas and husband of Clytemnestra. He is a king of Argos. He becomes the commander of the Greek army when Manilas' wife Helen is kidnapped by Paris. He is brave but rash in action and is quick in temper. When Agamemnon and his army start to sail for Troy, he angers goddess Artemis by killing an animal sacred to Artemis. Angry goddess sends plague to the Greek army and also wind stops. Calchas, a soothsayer, announces that Agamemnon has angered the goddess and she can be pacified. Only if Agamemnon sacrifices his daughter Iphigenia. According to some versions, goddess Artemis stopped Agamemnon when he was preparing to sacrifice Iphigenia and accepted a deer to substitute Iphigenia. This incident created animosity between Agamemnon and Calchas. In Iliad, we read about the conflict between Agamemnon and Achilles. When the Greeks raid Trojans, Circe, daughter of the priest of Apollo's temple, is captured as a war prize by Agamemnon. The priest complains to Apollo and requests him to intervene. Angry Apollo sends plague to the Greek army. Achilles asks Calchas about the cause of the misfortune. Assured of his safety, Calchas says that the sun god can be propitiated only if Chryses is returned. Agamemnon gets angry on both Calchas and Achilles. He considers it an attack on his personal honor. Reluctantly, Agamemnon agrees to return Chryses on a condition that Achilles' war prize, Byrses, is given to him in exchange. This makes Achilles sulk and he decides to withdraw from the war. Achilles also seeks help of his mother Thetis in recommending Greek defeat to Zeus. Achilles only gets back to action when his close friend Patroclus is killed. Agamemnon gets Cassandra as a war prize at the end of the Battle of Troy. Agamemnon is killed by his wife Clytemnestra, who was in secret love with Aegisthus. We will now talk about Agamemnon's brother Menelaus. Manilas is a king of Sparta and husband of Helen. He is the son of Atreus and has to take refuge in Sparta after his cousin Aegisthus kills his father and Menelaus' uncle Thistus gets the throne. Both Agamemnon and Menelaus take refuge in Tyndareus' Sparta. When Tyndareus arranges for his daughter Helen's wedding, many brave kings come to win her. Tyndareus gets worried as there are many warriors present. Odysseus makes all kings take an oath to defend whomsoever Helen marries in any future battle. Menelaus gets Helen. Worried that Agamemnon might get angry, Tyndareus offers him his other daughter Clytemnestra. Menelaus becomes the king of Sparta. He and Helen have a daughter Hermione. According to myths, Aphrodite had promised Paris, the most beautiful woman in the world. When Paris visits Sparta on a diplomatic mission, Manilas is absent. Paris, violating the ethical codes of a diplomatic mission, kidnaps Helen to Troy. Menelaus, along with other kings, under the leadership of Agamemnon, attacks the city of Troy. Some stories say he kills 8 soldiers. He also is believed to have hidden in the Trojan horse. At the end of the battle, Menelaus unites with Helen. We will now discuss about the character of Helen. Helen is also famous as Helen of Troy in mythology. She is glorified as the most beautiful woman in the world. Stories show her as a daughter of Zeus and Leda. She is adopted by Tyndareus. She is a sister of Clytemnestra. She marries Menelaus. According to myths, goddess Aphrodite had promised Paris that he would get the most beautiful woman in the world. During a diplomatic visit, Paris kidnaps Helen and takes her to Troy. In the city of Troy, Helen is shown to be sad by Homer. Helen at one point acknowledges that she is treated fairly only by the king Priam and Hector. At the end of the battle, she gets reunited with Manilas. Some say Manilas was about to kill her, but when he looked at her, he became lustful and spared her. Some say he took pity on Helen. There are also different accounts of Helen's kidnap. Sappho believes that Helen was not kidnapped, but she willingly left Menelaus and her daughter. It is also believed that Clytemnestra cautioned Agamemnon that Helen is a wicked woman and it is not worth fighting for her. In other works of literature, Helen is described in Marlowe's Dr. Faustus. Dr. Faustus, who sells his soul to Mephistopheles, expresses a desire to see Helen of Troy. When his wish is granted, he says, "Was this the face that launched 1,000 ships and burnt the topless towers of Ilium?" Hector is the most impressive character out of all characters in Iliad. In Iliad, Hector emerges as a noble and heroic character. He is a Trojan prince and son of King Priam and Queen Hecuba. He is also a brother of Paris and husband of Andromache. It is believed that he does not approve of the kidnap of Helen by his brother Paris. However, Hector fights for his community. He fights very bravely with Ajax. Hector fights heroically but is not able to penetrate Ajax's shield. Ajax stabs Hector through his armor. Apollo intervenes to stop the battle, and sportingly, Hector gives Ajax his sword while Ajax gives him his girdle. When Hector finds that Paris is not willing to fight with Manilas, he scolds him for bringing misfortune to the entire city of Troy. In the battle, when Patroclus enters the war wearing Achilles' armor, Hector very bravely fights and kills Patroclus. Dying Patroclus warns him of his own impending death. When angry Achilles enters the battle, Hector decides to die fighting bravely. He says, "Alas, the gods have lured me on to my destruction. Let me not die ingloriously and without a struggle, but let me first do some great things that shall be told among men hereafter." Before his death, Hector requests Achilles to return the body after the fight if he dies. Angry Achilles tells dying Hector that he will feed his body to dogs and vultures. Achilles slits Hector's heels and fastens his girdle to his chariot and drags his dead body around the city for 12 days. He only relents when King Priam requests him. On advice of his mother Thetis, Achilles declares rest for 12 days so that Hector can be given honorable funeral. Scene when Hector's wife Andromache requests him not to fight and Hector persuading her that he can't die till his time comes is very moving. He lives and dies in glory. Story of Iliad would be incomplete without talking about Achilles. Achilles is a son of Thetis and Peleus. At the time of his birth, there was a prediction that either he would live a long but meaningless life or a short but a heroic life. Thetis tries to make him immortal by dipping him in the river Styx, but she holds him by his heels and thus Achilles' heels remain vulnerable. Thetis also tries to hide him as a woman in the court of Lycomedes, but Odysseus comes to know about this with the help of Calchas, and he enters the court of Lycomedes as a person selling vanities for women, but he also has placed spear among goods. When Achilles picks up the spear, his disguise is betrayed and he is convinced to join the war. Homer's Iliad, Book 1, starts with these lines: Sing, goddess, of the rage of Peleus' son Achilles. Iliad starts when Achilles withdraws from the war because Agamemnon takes his slave girl Bersace from him. He also prays to his mother to pray to Zeus to help the enemy Trojans win. When Achilles hears about the death of Patroclus, very dear to him, he rejoins and kills Hector brutally. He also dishonors the dead body of Hector. Only upon the requests of King Priam, he requests the body of Hector. It is believed, and as cursed by Hector before his death, Achilles is finally killed by Paris, shooting an arrow in his heels. Achilles emerges as a brave but a selfish character. He holds his personal honor dear and withdraws from war when Bersace is taken away from him. He also mutilates the dead body of Hector.